In this short video I want to show you how the way search engines rank your pages has changed in the last few years, and more importantly what this thing called latent semantic indexing means to you and to your business. Now if we look at the way that search engine optimization used to be done, and not so long ago either, the basic idea was to find the phrases that people are actually searching for at the search engines using a keyword tool like Word Tracker, and then optimizing the page for that particular keyword phrase. So you would insert the phrase into various places on your web page, like the page title, the meta keywords and meta description tag. You'd make sure that you had the primary phrase in an H1 header tag, and you would probably write the content to contain that primary phrase a certain number of times. There would be specific densities that you would probably try and hit, like 5% density, which is a 1 in 20, one keyword phrase per 20 other words. And you'd also look for other places to put the keyword on your page, like the alt tags of images and so on. Now this old style SEO doesn't work anymore, and there's very good reasons for it. Largely the techniques that were used were that webmasters would come up with a list of primary phrases, and they would create a web page around each primary phrase. Now a lot of them would hire ghostwriters to do this, and they would say, can you write me a web page on, or an article on the primary phrase "buy blue widgets." And so the ghostwriter would go away and find it quite difficult, and they would write something along the lines of, if you want to buy blue widgets, you could not find a better store to buy blue widgets from than us. And it would go on like this, where the content was absolute drivel. It didn't provide any real information, and it was just a load of words which contained the primary phrase a certain number of times. Now unfortunately for the search engines, the way that the SEO worked was that, if the primary phrase was found in the various places that we saw in the last slide, then there was a good chance that the web page could rank well for that keyword. And now there are other factors involved, like external links pointing into the page, but let's just keep this video to the on-page factors. So it became very clear that the search engines were filling up with rubbish, and the search engines needed to find a new way to rank pages and not rely totally on a primary phrase and how often it was used on the page. Now the way the search engines tackled this was to use this thing called latent semantic indexing, which in simple terms means that the LSI algorithm looked for combinations of words on your page to help determine the relevancy of that page. And the idea behind this is that a well-written page on any topic will contain theme words, or words which reinforce the theme of the page. This became really very important for Google when they started to come out with their AdWords feature and AdSense ads, because most people can put AdSense ads onto their web pages and earn income if somebody clicks on those ads. Now obviously Google needs to know what the web page is about so it can find relevant ads, and the latent semantic indexing algorithms at Google would look at the word combinations on the page and try and narrow down exactly what the web page was about, so that the ads became 100% match for that particular web page. Now let's have a little look at an example here of how this might work. Supposing a search engine is looking at web pages, indexing new pages, and it finds a web page with the word cream on it. Now just based on the word cream, it's impossible for the search engine to know what that page is about. It could be about cosmetics, which use creams and lotions. It could be about an animal cream that comes out from cows and goats and sheep. It could be ice cream, or the color cream, or probably a lot of different other contexts. The only way to really find out what that page is about is to look at the other words that are found on the same web page. So what if you also had the words cow, goat, milk and fat on that page with the word cream? The search engines will now be a lot more certain of what the page is about, but there could be other words on that page which narrow down that niche. For example, if the page also contains the word camembert and brie, there's a good chance that that page is about soft cheeses from France. You might also try and find the word France or French on that page and see. Or what if instead of Camembert and Brie it said, the words blue, mould and Danish were on that page? Well, there again, that web page is probably about Danish blue cheeses and would be returned in different searches than the Camembert and Brie example. So I think you can see how it's important to look at all the words on a page and not really just at a primary keyword phrase. And LSI essentially does just that. It looks at the combinations of words on a page to identify the topic so that the search engines can return the most relevant page for the searcher's query. What this means to you is that as you're creating your own web pages, you need to identify these theme words, the words which support your primary phrase. If you're writing a web page about French cheeses, which words do you also need to include on your page so that Google will know that you're writing about French cheeses? You need to include those theme words in your content. And your content needs to be top quality and unique. Basically, it needs to provide valuable information to your visitors, or the search engines will probably think that it's not worth providing as a search result. To help explain some of the ideas surrounding this latent semantic indexing, I've written 2 free reports which analyse top-ranked and poorly ranked web pages at Google. Basically what I did is I took a competitive phrase, searched for it at Google, pulled out one of the top 10 pages and then pulled out another page that was buried down page 500 or so. So a well-ranked page and a poorly ranked page. And then I did some analysis on there with some tools that I've got to look at the theming, to look at keyword stuffing, to look at spamming and so on, and analysed the 2 pages for each keyword that I search for. And if you want to have a look at those reports, you can get them for free. There's a lot of good information in them that will help you decide how you're going to write your content in future. Just go to www.easyseonews.com/CFC, and when you get there, look in the top right hand corner of that web page.